first of all, welcome to the Swedish Junior Hockey Podcast. I'm Jacob Dahlin, your humble correspondent. With us today, we have someone that doesn't need a whole lot of introduction. Tommy Salo, originally from Surahammar, 10 years in the NHL, Olympic gold, World Championship gold, well-known in the hockey community. Welcome to the Swedish Junior Hockey Podcast.
Thank you very much.
This episode is brought to you by Scandlux, your home for Scandinavian luxury products for the U.S. market. You can find us at scandlux.com.
So, thanks for coming on. And I thought we would, since this is a junior hockey podcast, the subject could be extremely broad. And like we talked about earlier, we could talk about this for a couple of hours, but people would drop off after 5 minutes. So what I thought we would do is talk about your career from youth, short junior experience straight into the NHL, but then also your second career as a coach and general manager. But to try to focus on your perspectives about junior hockey in Sweden, but perhaps also what you've seen in North America. So why don't we start? I typically say this: who's Tommy Salo?
Tommy Salo is doing okay right now. And thanks for being in on this show. They're going to be interesting and do it in English. I haven't done it in a long time ago.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, be fun.
So tell us a little bit about your. You grew up in Surahammar, outside of Vasteras on the east coast of Sweden. Let's start there.
Yeah. Well, and when I was younger, starting up with playing hockey when I was like 5-6 years old, I think. And I just love a big goalie right away. So I haven't simply in scoring lots of goals on front, but I have a few stop the ball and the puck most of the time when I was young.
Yeah.
And then starting up with playing with older players all the time, from 5-6 years old to they were 8-9. Same when I was 8-9, they were 10-11. So all the time I play with older player all the time. I think that was really good for my future, like play with all the players.
Yeah.
And well, when I come up to 11, 12, same thing there. I play with guys who was up to 14, 15 years old. At the same time, I come up to juniors, so it's the same thing. They're almost there. I play all the time with older players, and I think that's why. What do you call it? Starting get building my confidence with playing with an older player all the time.
Yeah. How was it? So did you go to gymnasium back?
Yes.
So where did you go? Is that how you ended up in Vasteras?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in the gymnasium in Vasteras in 2 years. So same thing there. Starting up first year was in Vasteras. We'll play with the juniors. But year after, they bring me back to Surahammar and then told me I'm gonna play in a senior team, and then I go back one more year, and then I left back to Vasteras again. So I was a little bit back and forth in gymnasium.
Yeah, I see here Vestmania. What was Vestmania? Division 1? Was that the Västerås kind of minor league?
Yes, you can call them a farm team more, like for Västerås. So we were playing between what can you say, 18 to 25 maybe, almost in Vestmania, and we play on one league, and so we were up and down a little bit in the Västerås and Vestmania. If they need some players, we were up and down. It was like a farm team.
So I just think that that's a interesting, even though, and of course, the Swedish system is a little bit different than the U.S., where you have the ability to move up and down at leisure. And I would imagine that you got to play a lot of hockey during those times.
Yeah. No, that was perfect for me. At the same time, I was in Westmania. I think I was 18 years old, and that was the year I played in the junior world championships too. So I was really young and still playing with the seniors all the time. So that's been awesome for me. At the same time, when I play in what do you call it? Call it Elitserien, Swedish first league.
Yep.
It was easier for me to get in there and play too when I get playing with all the players all the time.
Yeah, I'm curious too. When did it become? When did it switch from being just fun with the boys to serious? This is what I want to do. This is who I am, and this is what I want to do.
I think it's around there, 15, 16 years old. I think.
Yeah,
that's the start, and that's the serious. I feel that way when I'm going back. So I think that was 15, 16, 17. That was more important.
And did you find yourself being different than the guys that you grew up with? Where if you looked around in the locker room, not everybody in that locker room had the same success but I would imagine the commitment level was, and the dedication may not have been the same among everybody as well, right?
Well, starting when I think I came in junior world champion, and when I played with the national team, I think that's the start. A little bit more different. So you play with the best players all the time, and you get your eyes on you when you the other crowd starting get know your name, everything like that. Players too, and coaches, and I think that's the start. Being a little bit more thinking, wow, this is going a little bit better than what I was thinking about. So I think that's make me more focused on hockey, even more what I was before.
So let's dig in a little bit there, because I think it's interesting. How did that? So the success bred success, but how did that affect? So when you're saying that you got a stronger focus, how did that? What did that mean?
Well, it means that you do something good, and somebody see you like doing something good, like you play good hockey, and people like, what are you doing? I think that's that show when you get in the gymnasium, you get picked in the gymnasium in Västerås. They picked me there, so that's show me like a little bit more like, well, you can do something with the hockey, and when you know somebody see you and you do something good and you have a chance to do something. I was not dreaming about the national team and NHL that way when I was 15, 16. It started when I starting somewhere 16, 17. Well, going pretty good. I just keep going from there.
So did that also translate into putting more work and focus on the effort that you put into it as well?
Yeah, well, I play football, soccer, you call it there, and the tennis. So I have the choice, and my choice was easy. So there was hockey on then. That was only hockey for all the time.
Nice. So, and then, of course, national team, U19, U20, and then you stayed in the national team for. We're about the same age, and of course, I remember household name in the national team for a long time, really throughout the entire career. So you got a couple of years early and very young in Elitserien, in the top division with Västerås, and some success back then, right?
Yeah. No, we were playing good. We have a good team too, so it was easy to be goalie.
Yeah. And then let's talk about it wasn't that common. So 1994 New York Islanders. Which year were you drafted?
93. So I was surprised. I was on a vacation in Florida when I get drafted, so I have no clue that I get drafted. And there were no cell phones there at that time, so
So how did you get notified?
I don't know. They called me on the hotel room. I don't know how they get hold of me, even that. So they call me and say, you get drafted on New York Islanders. So I was really surprised that day, that for sure.
Okay. Who was the coach back then? I guess
Where?
In the Islanders.
There was Al Arba was there before.
Okay.
And first I have Lorne Henning, maybe.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to pull that up on Elite Prospects. It's
there
somewhere.
Yeah, and the year I came there, so that was the year after 94, 95. Mike Milberg came there a little bit.
Okay.
That time. So
interesting.
Yeah, you don't want to know.
But one thing so I'm curious about this. First year in the U.S. has got to be, especially as a very young goaltender. But Tommy Söderström, also a goalie there.
Yeah, and it's starting with a lockout. It was lockout 94, 95 in NHL. So I was in a trains camp, and I think Ron Hextall was there.
Okay.
So that was my first year with in the camp, and I really liked Ron Hextall. But at the same time, it was a lockout year. I get in minors, and Tom Söderström get traded for Ron Hextall that year.
Yeah, 65 games. Wow, in Denver Grizzlies in the IHL.
Yeah.
That's got to be a big change too, going as a young player, going to a new country, and then you get to play 65 games, which...
No, but that was perfect for me.
Really?
That was great for me. I have a great coach, Butch Goring, helped me out a lot. And I have a great teammates who I play a long time with, my age, Niklas Andersson, who helped me out there with English and how to get apartment and everything what you need for get going.
And I guess there wasn't a whole lot of downtime when you were playing that much. It was practice games.
Yeah.
Going from the apartment to the rink.
No, I love it. That was all the time. That was, like you say, like the 3 games a week. And most of the time in the minors is you play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, so Monday's off, but then you have practiced all the time.
So you're 23, 24 years old then, which is incredibly young as a goaltender. But so I'm curious too, physically, how did you were you prepared with your body? Was your body prepared to take that leap, or where did that come from?
I was really focused, but doing good for myself, and show up there and doing good.
Yeah,
that was difficult play Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the minors. That for sure. That was a little bit different what I'm used to. But you have to learn that too. So you have to eat and rest and take care of your body and get focused and be ready for the game.
Yeah,
that works. But you love to play the game, so I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Well, most people, they would now go into talking about the rest of your NHL career and so on. And like I said, we could spend hours there, but I really want to focus on, since this is junior hockey, we're actually going to hit the fast forward button and skip 10 years in the NHL, which everybody would probably want to hear about that, and I would too. But if we fast forward, long career, and then come back to Sweden for a few seasons, but playing in international play, and then retirement. Curious, did you quit when you retired? Was that did you quit on your own terms, or did your body shut you down?
No, for my own. My body was okay, but I started feeling like I was not that good anymore. Like I'm feeling I'm going down, and I don't like to practice that much, so that's easy choice to starting retire there.
Did the style of play change around that time as well? As a goalie?
Yeah, they did. Few years before that.
And bigger goalies are coming in. I mean, 6 foot as a goaltender today is considered very, very small.
Yeah.
So let's move into second part of your career, which is equally interesting. Head coach right away. So you didn't sit around very long.
No. I have a plan. I want to do that right after I did that. So I started with coaching in 3 years in a league, Division 1, what I started with.
Yeah.
And there for 3 years, and then I was a little bit up in we call it Allsvenskan, and I get fired there from. And then they asked me if I want to starting in like a GM in the same team. I get fired from, so I started to say, yeah, that's what I want to do. So I started in GM right away when I get fired. So that worked out good for me. So I was GM that club, and then Leksand buy me up. So I've been Leksand in 4 years after that.
Yeah, and then and then also a little bit assistant coach, general manager. And you know, I grew up in Leksand, of course, and unique area. I mean, you're not that far away from Leksand, but did you live in Surahammar the whole time, or did you live?
When I was since I was 19, 20, I was in Surahammar. Then that was it, and then I've been all over the place after that.
Yeah. So where are you at today?
Today I'm in Gothenburg.
Okay, all right, but that's not where you live.
No, it's I was, like you say, I'm from Surahammar, but I live in Gothenburg right now.
Okay, great. So I'm curious now. So several years then in coaching and general manager, and you've been staying in touch with hockey the whole time. So when you went back as a coach, so in Division 1, I would imagine that, so Kungälv, what was the junior hockey player interaction there? Was half the team young players and half were experienced, or?
Yeah, it was really young. Well, we have young team there. They were around, I should say, around 19 to 25, almost everybody.
Yeah.
So it was nice to work with them. I like to work with the young guys. They show up every day, and they love to work, and they love to play the hockey. They were working outside hockey all the time too.
Yeah. So what was your focus then on? So you're trying to get into coaching then, right? And get experience. And what was the hardest thing about being a coach first year?
First of all, like your hockey player, you just have a schedule you're following. Now you have to get up and do a schedule for the players. Yeah. That was a little more different for me. I was just used to the schedule and I just follow the schedule. But now you have to do the practice area and how you play the game, and it was more focus on the players more than the goalies, if you say it that way.
Yeah. How was it? I'm curious too. So within a Division 1, so back then that was 2007.
6, 7. Oh yeah.
So that was, they had Allsvenskan. So you had Division 1. Division 1 was the third level at that time, right?
Then Allsvenskan, then it is
SHL.
Yeah.
So within that team, and you have, certainly they don't make a whole lot of money.
No, they work outside of hockey.
But I'm sure that you had some players that were better than others, and you had some that were more dedicated than others. How was that as a coach to come in, and not everybody's got the mindset of a true pro?
Well, it's difficult when you're working all day from, like you say, 8 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, and then you're going to practice 6 p.m. It's really tough for the players, and it was a little bit difficult for me when I get to the professional. You're practicing at 10, 11 in the morning, and then you're free all day, and now you have to practice after when you work. That was a little bit difficult for me, and have to learn them how tired they are. We play Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Yeah.
And the time they were really tired when they've been working Monday to Friday. And Friday games were usually awful games. But at the same time, I understand them after a couple of weeks when they're working all the time.
Yeah. But so the junior players on that team,
Yeah.
I would imagine were perhaps not as from a work perspective, they may or may not have been working as hard as the guy that is 24, 25 outside of hockey.
No.
So they may not, they may live in an apartment. They don't have the expenses and family. Did you see that some were super dedicated, that were trying to climb up to get to Allsvenskan, and some were just happy to play somewhere?
Yeah. Few guys have like you say, they were around 20 years old, and they want to get up one level more all the time. And they did that to a few players, and I'm really glad for them. But at the same time, everybody worked hard, and same with the older guys, they play hard for the young guys. So no, it was fun to see how it works out.
Yeah. And as a coach, how did you reward the work, or was it all about, I'm just going to put the best player on the ice that's going to help us win?
I try to make everybody in the team they feel like they are in the team. They have some roles, all the players, and I think that was the key for me and the players, and have a great time together and win the hockey games. I was really hard about them that we want to win every game.
Yeah.
And we don't want to have bad games, and we're going to try to get be in the game all the game and have the chance to win the games.
Yeah.
And that was big focus for me, like a coach.
It's great. I mean, and I would imagine it being a little bit difficult because it's a different world, the level that you played, and then having to make those adjustments.
Of course, it's different too. And they have big respect for me. They know what I've been doing all my career, if you say that way.
Yep.
And but they did great. They want to work hard, and they want to work hard for the coach, and I feel that way too. So it was really fun to work with the young guys there.
And then you went in to be a general manager. So
yeah,
you got thrown into it, which I would imagine was also a new. Why in the world would you want to do that?
I wonder that too. No, like when you love hockey and you want to, I think I was like, I feel like I'm good with the guys, and I know what I want. I know how I'm going to build the team and the round team. So I think that's make me take something from the NHL, from another side and this side in Sweden, and put it together. I think, I think I was pretty good on that.
So it was interesting. I was listening to, I think it was Hockey Sverige did an interview with Masken Karlsson.
Yeah.
And he was kind of in the same situation where he was kind of thrown into being a general manager pretty early. Certainly had a long experience, and same thing for you. But his comment was, I kind of, maybe I did it a little too soon. But
yeah.
What about your experience?
Well, I think I was I was in good age, and when I started, like you say, I started with the coaching, and I put in PM, and I've seen a lot of players, play with a lot of players, and have a good connection with many old players and agents, and I know a lot of people on the other side. And
Yep.
came in Sweden too, so I have a lot of good people around me all the time, so that makes it easier to be GM too.
So from a GM's perspective, when you are, so let's say when you are in Allsvenskan or even in the SHL, you have a budget that you got to work with. And so how important is the junior players? It's got to be difficult to balance the edge of what we call spetskompetens in Sweden, but at the same time, the ability to develop the junior player, give them the experience, which is economically a good deal, but they may not be exactly where they can compete. How was that for you in terms of the ability to bring them up, given the experience for the longer term versus, you know, the experienced person that you can transfer in?
Yeah, well, I can talk about myself when I was in Leksand, and then I have a name in Michael Kalber, who helped me out, and that's good friend to me when I been good friend for me for all my life. He was born same town like I was, so he's same age too. So he been really good help with me. He worked with the juniors when I was a GM in Leksand, and he know everything about the junior hockey. He know all the players there, and I listening a lot of things about him. And we starting work with that. We're gonna get 3-4 guys a year get up in a what do you call it, in the
training group,
like they're gonna have a chance to play up there all the time. So 3-4 guys every year gonna be up there, and we're starting to get players all the time up there. When I was there, we have good juniors. We get up. It was not only me. It was all Leksand did a great job to get up the players, like Filip Forsberg,
De La Rose was it that year?
Hendemark.
Yep.
Rask. We have really good young guys who was on the way up, so it was pretty easy for me to be GM too. So I have a great team around me, and that's make my job much easier too.
So you relied on his eye to feed you with the players that he felt. So Micke Karlberg, who was the junior coach, to say these are the guys that are ready. Yeah,
you can say that. Well, I watch all the games in juniors too, so I have my own eyes too. So he tell me look up this guy, and watching him more, and I was looking all the team, but he tell me this guy is gonna be ready pretty soon. So it's easy for me and see that too. So it was not just Michael who did this. We have it all team around me, the coaches and the junior coaches and everything like that. So we were on the same page, everybody, I think. But at the same time, when you have a good team around you, it's easier to take out and pick one guy who's gonna go up higher all the time. That's the way it is.
Well, when you got a Filip Forsberg and Jacob De La Rose, kind of makes it a little bit easier.
Of course it does. Make like I say, we have a great team from the junior and up in the league, top league too. So
I'm curious back then. So the first full year with Leksand. So Forsberg he was in 94. This was was he 17 that year?
17, I think he was.
Yeah. What do you remember? I mean, such an iconic player, such a Leksand guy, amazing player, you know.
Yeah.
What do you remember from him?
He was a kid. He just want to have fun. He he wanted to have fun every day he came to work and like to the rink. He just play around with the puck and have fun. He did the same stuff he do now. He did that when he was younger too, and he's gonna be something
So
extra.
how did that from a general manager standpoint, was that certainly he was also a talent, but did that dynamic of having that young player, certainly he was mature for his age too, but on the other hand, that as an athlete, that the love of the game, did that have a positive impact with the veteran guys like Mattias Timander and who else was?
Yeah, of course. Of course to do. When you have a young player like Filip was 17, say that way, and Timander was probably around 33, 34 when he was in Leksand. And but to have same time, you can't see Mattias Timander was 33. He looked like he was his mindset was 17.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he was down. But at the same time, he was a dad for Filip, and he was dad for the all team, if you say that way. But at the same time, Filip did something so much good for the team and the young guys, and the young guys look it up for him, and like they want to be like Filip. And they were the same age almost, and they make each other even better all the time when they were young.
And it's amazing to see. I mean, he hasn't changed. I watched the clips. He's coming back to the hockey school and shows up, rides his bike from Åkerö back to the rink, and shows up like he always has because he loves it. I mean, he's a unique individual, of course. But so the other part is, so in Leksand, when you were the GM, they had a GM for the junior program itself that concentrated on juniors and youth.
Oh, you don't want to know how much work I have there. I have juniors, I have the girls.
Oh, you were doing both.
Yes, I have all lager too. So I have everything on me. And the second year I was an assistant coach too. And I have to scout and do everything. Well, that was a little bit too much work for me.
Yeah. No, I mean, and today most of the elite clubs have someone that is focusing solely on the elite organization GM job, and then you have someone else that's doing the juniors.
Yeah. Of course, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
You have to scouts, and you have the GM should just do the A-lag, if you call that. Then you have a GM for the juniors too, and the coaches.
Yeah, I just think it's the Swedish system of the ability to play even as a youth player, U16, U15, going into gymnasium, and the sky's the limit. The ability to play no matter which level. I mean, if you are in an organization that has, you can play J18 Division 1 is where they are, and then you have the ability to also play J20 at the same time and practice with J20. And then you go up, or if you're a top player in hockey gymnasium, you may be J18, and now you're getting to play J20 on a regular basis and practice with that team, and you may get a cup of coffee with a Division 1 or Allsvenskan or even in Elitserien. It provides, I think the key though is that you have a structure and you have certainly it could be the opposite effect if they are thrown into it too early and then they fail, versus, so the ability to have like the relationship you and Micke Karlberg had, where he knows this guy's not ready. He would benefit now to get more playing time in J18 than to throw him into Elitserien as an example. Or you have a guy that is, man, he's ready. And I think that's a unique advantage that Sweden have that enables them to produce players. I think the challenge is some players may be too eager to make the jump or make the leap too soon. I think it's interesting today where someone like Dahlén, who's now playing Allsvenskan, has a little bit more balanced way of looking at it than maybe some 20-year-old may have.
Yeah, of course. But it's like you say, ice time is really important. It's no matter what level you are, and more ice time you get, more confidence you be there out there.
Yeah,
and that's like you say, it's good. You have the juniors 18, juniors 20. You can play in Division 1, and get the ice time you need for get ready when you get up in a higher level all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So let's talk a little bit about the third bullet point in my notes here. TommySalosCompany.com. What are you doing today? So what's
I wondered that too. No, I just do some stuff here and there, and try to do something every day to get feeling like I do something. It's really boring if you don't have something to do. So I just do some closing, and I'm done with a book I'm gonna let out. Gonna be in September 22. Gonna be out to the crowd, and people can read my whole life from 6 years old to almost now.
Wow, that's awesome. So I'm waiting for the Tommy Salo underwear coming out, just like Bjorn Borg underwear and Saloming underwear. Is that on the planning stage?
I'm not sure about that, but
you have to read the book.
Yeah, you have to read the book before you see it.
Yeah, and then I guess and you're also open to speak to groups, and tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, I want to get out to people and talk about my life and everything like that, and I try to do like my life, like tell how I get to NHL that way, and well, just do something. Like I say, I want to do something in my life and do something what I can learn out somehow to everybody.
I think it's awesome, and I think it's a great way to. A lot of people become an expert after the fact, and then they keep that knowledge hidden away. And it's the reason why we started this podcast, is to share experience and information for people to kind of learn, for people that are interested. And what a better way to do that by talking about stories and talking about experiences and similarities and differences and so on in people's careers or people's lives.
Yeah.
So what's the best way? What's the best way for people to get in touch with you if they want to contact you in the future?
Just go hold me. Like you find me Tommy Salo. Tommy Salo. What do you call it? TommySalo.com.
TommySalosCompany.com, I think
TommySalo.com. Yeah, you can find me there too. But Tommy Salos, you find me Tommy Salo everywhere. So it's not matter.
I think you're also pretty active on LinkedIn, which not a lot of people.
Yes, yeah, but I haven't been all the time. But the last half year, I've probably been there every day. So I can find me there too.
No, I think I think that's an easy way for people to reach out, and especially if they want to, let's say they want to have a conversation about from a business standpoint or a speaking engagement. That's a great way to reach out and so on.
There you find me, I find you.
That's I think it was either. I have a lot of contacts on LinkedIn, but it's just a easy way to start a
Right.
conversation. And with the Swedish Junior Hockey Podcast, it's a little bit unique. So it's kind of, I've been sharing the episodes with people and hope that people share them. It's a very non-threatening way of reaching out and building communities and networks.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really
All right.
good.
Well, thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up. And when you listen to it, I'm curious to see if you recognize the outro in the music. For those who know the vignette in Leksand hockey games, that's where it's coming from. But so when we hit end here, that's where it's coming from. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. But thanks again, and
No, thank you. Be
go
great.
out and buy the book is the challenge here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.